Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Fantasy Overtime. This week we'll be going over last week's sleepers of week 3. The guy you don't want to play this week or the coming future at this rate. And always our OIV of the week. So let's get right to the information. So starting with this week's sleepers. A guy who still has not been picked up much yet has still had some really solid games that I mentioned last week. So let's bring it up here. We have Dwight Powell of the Dallas Mavericks. He's playing power forward for him. He's only owned by 30.9% of users on ESPN.com. At New Orleans, he had 10 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, a block, 80% field goal percentage, 50% free throw percentage. Against the Clippers, he had 8 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 80% field goal shooting. Against the Lakers, he had 10 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 50% field goal shooting, and 100% free throw shooting. Against Houston, he had 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 62% field goal shooting, and 75% free throw shooting. His consistency right now is making him a must pickup, and people haven't been paying attention to that. If you're looking for a guy who's going to give you some pretty solid field goal percentage while still giving you points and rebounds, which a number of teams are having issues with in fantasy, you should definitely pick this guy up. Our next guy we should look at here, Corey Joseph, formerly of the San Antonio Spurs, now playing for the Toronto Raptors. He plays point guard. He is only owned by 13.9% of users right now. Lately, he's been on an uptick. Against New York at home, he had 12 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, a steal, 44% field goal shooting. For a guard isn't terrible. 100% free throw shooting and made a 3. Against Philadelphia at Philly, he had 15 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 66% field goal percentage, and 100% free throw percentage again, which is a relatively consistent number for him. At home against New Orleans, he had 9 points, only 2 assists this game, 3 rebounds, a steal, a block, 42% field goal percentage, and 100% free throw percentage with a 3-pointer made. Now, keep an eye on his stats. If his consistency continues and he turns into the main backup point guard behind Kyle Lowry, definitely give him some run. When he's been out there on a consistent tick, his numbers have been good so far. So keep an eye on him. Joakim Noah is another guy I want you guys to keep an eye on. He plays for Chicago, obviously, center. He had been on the bench, but he has been getting some starting minutes recently. He has also been playing okay. So just in his recent games played, he sat out a couple. Against Minnesota on the 7th of November, he only had 3 points, but he had 11 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, a block. Some of the numbers you saw in his almost MVP season. Against Charlotte on the 13th of November, he had 3 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a block. Against Indy on the 16th of November, he had 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Not terrible. So if you have the room to add a guy like this and you're consistently winning the field goal percentage field goal percentage category, you should pick this guy up. But that's only if you can handle his field goal percentage being this low. Because really, he's giving you some double-digit rebounds recently. He's been giving you high assist numbers. He's a guy you should keep a solid eye on. Now, if he isn't getting the starting minutes here in the next week or so, drop him, get rid of him. But right now, he's starting to be a better player in the eyes of new coach Fred Hoiberg. So pick him up if he continues to play this way. Now, going into our guy you don't want to play this week, DeMarcus Cousins of the Sacramento Kings. He gives you power forward and center spots, so he can fit into a couple different spots on the lineup. Last week, he averaged 32.5 points per game, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.5 blocks, 45% field goal percentage, 76% from the free throw line, And the crazy stat, he made 9 3-pointers last week. He has extended his range and actually hit 9 threes. And this big 40-point outburst he had the other night, he hit a few as well. That's where most of those came from. If he starts hitting 3-pointers on a consistent... Oh, yeah. That's going to be scary. Anyway, now to our Oy Vey of the week. I only bring this up because most people actually do not have this guy in their league, or at least picked up on any of their teams. In the league I currently am in, somebody drafted this guy and still has him on his bench, and it is disgusting. Shaun Livingston, while a solid backup point guard and helps Golden State go, he is, how do I put this? He's averaging 4.7 points per game, 2.2 assists, and 1.7 rebounds the whole season. And last week he averaged 6 points per game and a 55% field goal percentage. Those were the only 2 numbers really even listing because the others were so insignificant. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this has been Fantasy Overtime. Thank you for watching. This is our 3rd installment. We'll be continuing to do this throughout the year. Definitely keep an eye on these players. Hope you don't have to play against DeMarcus this week. And don't sign guys like Shaun Livingston. Just don't do it. Have a good one.